Please welcome my good friend, Cindy Edwards.
Awesome. Let's see, am I up there yet? Hello, how are you? My name is Cindy Edwards, and I am a coach and a trainer. Some of you may remember me from ATD. I hosted the coaching special interest group with my friend Julie Berg for 11 years. So I've been around the training and coaching block for a while. Primarily, I'm working as a coach full-time, and I specialize in professional development, career development, and neurodiversity. And I have a little bit of a reputation of being the brain lady. So I know a little bit about this nugget up here called the brain. So my topic today is using applied neuroscience to come out of the fog and face your fears. And so I'm going to tell my story today about that. But let me ask you first, what are you afraid of? Seriously, what are you afraid of? Snakes? Anybody else? Public speaking. Nah, this is easy. How about heights? Anybody afraid of heights? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. How about, are you afraid of your boss? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. All right, well, let's get serious. I was still trying to overcome my fear of water. That is me doing that thing that your parent told you to not to do. Do you remember maybe someone said, you know, if a friend jumps off a bridge, you should not jump off a bridge? Okay, well, I'm on the left there, literally following people into the fog at a triathlon. And I'm on the right there coming out a little dazed. But I'm afraid of water. I'm afraid of open water in particular. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my story of how I got through and am now a triathlete, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Yeah. By the way, the first leg of a triathlon, you have to swim. There's no, you can't just look at the water. You actually have to swim it. But really my story started in 2019. I took a coach's training through Be Above Learning around consciousness and neurotransformation. And so I learned about the brain, this guy up here. And I want to teach you a couple of things that you may know, you may not know, okay? So number one is your brain was made to protect your body. That's it. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. Protect your body. It loves structure. It loves efficiency. So for example, it really prefers to take the easy way home instead of the scenic route home. It just loves that, okay? It loves to master things. It's pretty amazing, the brain. And it has this really amazing thing called neuroplasticity. You all should know what that is by now. Do you all know what neuroplasticity is? It means that every minute of every second of every moment of everything in your life, it grows, it changes your brain. Neuroplasticity. It's pretty cool, right? Okay. So, when I learned about the brain and that where my attention goes, neural firing flows and neural connections grow, I was a little like, what does that mean? Say it with me. Where my attention goes, neural firing flows and neural connections grow. That means you have a choice every minute where you put your attention. What do you want to grow? Okay, cool. That's really cool. And then I learned This is the cognitive bias codex. You know how your brain is a little bit biased. There are 180 different biases, all to protect you. I was like, man, so cool that my brain can change. Also not so cool that my brain can't change. That's a bummer. So, armed with this information, I decided I'm not going to be afraid of water anymore. What? What if? When I was 5 years old, my parents took us on a trip to the East Coast, and we went to Rehoboth Beach. Now, at the time, my parents were physically fighting each other. I got a little too close in the water, and I went under a wave, and I was pulled out of the wave, and I was scolded. Don't go close to the wave. Stay on the sand. Oh, okay. So, my first brush of being afraid of water. When I was 8 years old, again, pretty rough household, my brother and my sister were physically fighting over who was taking me, I think, because I can't really remember, to swimming lessons. Am I afraid of water, or is it emotional? When I was 11 years old, I went on a junior high field trip, and maybe you were there, Heather. Yep, I was not exactly popular. And I did one of those turn off the docks and fall into the water. Okay, I'm 11. How embarrassing. This is middle school. I got out of the water and I was shamed by my teacher. What if I am not afraid of the water? What if I learned to be afraid of the water? Neuroscience says I probably did. I probably learned to be afraid of the water. So I decided, enough of that. I'm not going to be afraid of the water anymore. So the woman that is the blonde, cute one right in front with me, her name is Pat. By the way, she is 62 years old and fabulous. And both of our kids swim, and we had been friends for 20 years, and every year we're like, you know, we should really learn how to swim. Our kids swim. She's like, yeah, next year. So then the next time I'd be like, hey, we should really learn how to swim, and she was like, next year. I was like, okay. So then I had shared my story of fear with her, and what we did is we signed up for the YWCA triathlon before taking swimming lessons. Because why not? We can do it. It's just a 500. No problem. Well, good one, right? I went to the YMCA for swimming lessons, and that didn't work very well. I was a little afraid of the water. So then, at the same time, serendipitously, I learned that my friend Michelle, wave Michelle. Michelle is my amazing swim coach. Dun, dun, dun. Michelle was starting an adult swim program, and I was there. And then Michelle helped me work through my fear. And oh boy, was it tough. I acted like a little kid. I would get out of the water and huff. I would get mad in the water and cry. I was right back to that 5-year-old little girl, and Michelle was right beside me all the way, saying it would be okay. I could do this. And one of the lessons that Michelle taught me was that even though I was exhausted from my trauma of the water, she said, and I quote, "You can swim when you're tired." What? And so I have now completed 9 triathlons. I am. Okay. And yes, I am still afraid of the water, but I have rewired my brain and I am not as afraid as I once was. And I am bound and determined to not be as afraid. And last night, I actually went swimming at Lake Nokomis, which is why I'm so clogged today, okay? And it was choppy, and I didn't have a panic attack. It was amazing. I was like, yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. So, as a coach, my clients often come in with fear of change, right? I can't change my job. I can't change my career. I can't be vulnerable with my boss. I can't. Fear, fear, fear. So one of the things I ask as a coach, and I ask myself too, and I'm going to ask you as well, because you know that neuroplasticity allows you to change your brain, and because you have a choice of what you put your attention on, do you want to continue to water the weeds of your life? Do you want to stay in your fear? Or do you want to try to water the flowers of your life and change your life and get over your fear? Isn't it time you tried something new? Thank you very much.